He planned to sit at the very back, clap once, and leave quietly before anyone noticed him. No speeches, no photos, no attention, just one proud look at his son in a cap and gown. But when the Navy captain's eyes locked onto the faded tattoo on the janitor's wrist, everything stopped. The cheering faded. The captain stood frozen, then did something no one in that graduation hall would ever forget. And in that moment, the truth about the quiet janitor broke the silence and changed every life in the room forever. Ethan Cole arrived at the graduation hall dressed in the same worn jacket he used on night shifts, the smell of cleaning supplies still clinging faintly to him no matter how hard he tried to scrub it away. His hands were rough, cracked from years of chemical burns and cold water. He adjusted the collar awkwardly, already uncomfortable among parents in pressed suits and shining shoes. He took the seat farthest from the stage, exactly where he had planned. Back row, no spotlight. That's where men like him belonged, or so he believed. Ethan was a janitor at the very school hosting the graduation. For 12 years, he had polished these floors long after students went home. For 12 years, he had emptied trash cans filled with forgotten dreams, wiped chalk dust off boards that once held futures, and fixed broken desks no one else bothered to notice. And today was not about him. It was about Liam. Liam Cole, his son, first in his class, full scholarship, future Navy engineer. Ethan swallowed hard as he saw Liam walk across the stage for rehearsal, tall and confident. Nothing like the scared 5-year-old boy who once clung to his leg the night Ethan came home in uniform, covered in blood that wasn't his. Back then, the Navy had taken everything from Ethan, but it had given his son a reason to dream. Liam had never told his friends what his father did for work, not because he was ashamed, because Ethan had asked him not to. "Let them see you first," he'd said. "Not me." Ethan kept his head down now, eyes lowered, sleeve tugged carefully over the faded tattoo on his wrist. A simple inked anchor wrapped in numbers few people would ever understand. Few people, except one. As applause erupted again, a man in full Navy dress uniform entered the hall. Navy Captain Richard Hale, invited as guest of honor. Medals lined his chest. His posture commanded respect without demanding it. Ethan noticed him immediately and instinctively pulled his sleeve lower. Too late. Captain Hale stopped walking. His gaze locked onto Ethan's wrist like he'd been struck. The captain's face lost its color. And for the first time in decades, a battle-hardened Navy officer forgot how to breathe. Captain Hale stepped closer, ignoring the whispers starting to ripple through the audience. His eyes never left the tattoo, numbers etched beside the anchor. Coordinates. Ethan knew those numbers. They marked a night at sea when screams were lost to the wind. A night only 3 men survived. Hale's voice trembled when he finally spoke. "Where did you get that?" Ethan didn't want this. He had spent his life running from moments like this. From recognition. From praise. From memories that smelled like smoke and salt and loss. "I earned it," Ethan said quietly. The captain's eyes filled with tears. People stared now. Phones lifted. Confusion spread across the hall as the most senior officer in the room did the unthinkable. He stepped back, straightened his posture, and raised his hand in a full military salute to a janitor in a worn jacket. Gasps filled the room. "I thought you were dead," Captain Hale said, voice breaking. "You went back into the fire." Ethan closed his eyes. "I couldn't leave them." Hale turned to the crowd, voice steady but thick with emotion. "This man saved 13 sailors after our ship was hit. He pulled me out while flames climbed the walls. He carried the wounded while bleeding himself. He refused evacuation until the last man was accounted for." Ethan's son, Liam, stood frozen on the stage. "Dad?" he whispered. Ethan finally looked up, truly looked at his son, and saw pride shining brighter than any medal. "I cleaned floors," Ethan said softly, "so your path could be clean." Captain Hale faced the graduates. "You see a janitor. I see a warrior who chose anonymity over glory and fatherhood over fame." The hall erupted, not with polite applause, but with thunder. Liam stepped off the stage and walked straight into his father's arms. "I didn't know," he whispered, choking back tears. "That was the point," Ethan replied. That day, Ethan didn't give a speech. He didn't need to. His life had already spoken, every late night, every blistered hand, every silent sacrifice. And as father and son stood together, the world finally saw what true heroism looked like. Not medals, not rank, but a man willing to disappear so his child could rise. Sometimes the strongest people are the ones sweeping the floor, while holding the weight of the world in their hearts.